Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to TEFL methodology. Now we are in the second meeting and the topic of our meeting today is current communicative approaches. Remember that we've learned a history of English teaching in our first meeting, and now we're going to be discussing more about current communicative approaches. To start with, let me tell you the learning outcome of today's meeting. So the learning outcome is that you're expected to be able to comprehend and summarize the current communicative approaches in language teaching. Well, basically, I'm going to explain 5 current communicative approaches, which are CLT or communicative language teaching, CLL or cooperative language learning, whole language or WL, and then CBI or content-based instruction, and TBLT or task-based language teaching. I'm gonna start from CLT, and after that CLL, WL, CBI, and TBLT. Okay, first current method is that CLT, communicative language teaching. This method aims broadly to apply the theoretical perspective of the communicative approach. Okay, so this method applies the communicative approach, which is used to make communicative competence as the goal of language teaching. And also, CLT explores pedagogical means for real-life communication in the classroom. It tries to get learners to develop linguistic fluency, not just the accuracy that was consumed by the historical journey. Remember, in the grammar translated method, the method emphasizes the English accuracy, language accuracy, but for now, it emphasizes more on linguistic fluency because the goal is to make communicative competence as the goal of language teaching. Okay. The principles of CLT are, number 1, focus. Learners learned a language through using it to communicate. So that's on the communicative approach. So the goal is to make learners communicate. Authentic and meaningful communication. And then fluency is an important dimension of communications. And then it involves the integrations of different language skills. Learning is a process of creative constructions and involves trial and error. So learning is assumed as a process of creative instructions and involves trials and error, which means it's okay to make errors in this CLT. Second, current communicative approach is that CLL. It is an approach to teaching that makes maximum use of cooperative activities, which involve pairs, small groups of learners in a classroom, for example. So it is often referred to as CLL, but if it's shortened, and it embraces a way of promoting communicative interactions as well in the classroom, and is seen as an extension of the principles of CLT. The goals of CLL are, number 1, to provide opportunities for naturalistic second language acquisition. Second, to provide teachers with a methodology to enable them to achieve the goal. And then to enable focused attention to particular lexical items, language structures, and communicative functions, to provide opportunities for learners to develop successful learning and communication strategies, and to enhance students' motivation and to reduce their stress, and to create a positive, effective classroom climate. Okay, so this approach is, well, basically to, make them be able to learn cooperatively with other students. W language, W language or whole language. The whole language emphasizes learning to read and write naturally. Read and write naturally with a focus on real communication. Again, focusing on real communication is not accuracy, but then linguistic fluency, and reading and writing for pleasure. Okay, the principles of whole language are, number one, the use of authentic literature rather than artificial. So the use of authentic sources or literature. For example, prepare text and exercise designed to practice individual reading skills. A focus on real and natural events rather than on specially written stories that do not relate to students' story. Real and natural events. Reading of real text of high interest. That's why it's also called us to reading for pleasure. Reading for the sake of comprehension for real persons as well. Yeah. And writing for a real audience, not simply to practice writing skills. So writing for writing, not writing for learning. But then writing as a process through which learners explore and discover meaning. Okay. So these are the principles of whole language. Others, yeah, the use of students produced texts rather than teacher generated or other generated text. Integrations of reading, writing, and other skills, yeah, for skills or integrated skills. Student-centered learning, reading and writing in partnership with other learners, and encouragement of risk-taking and explorations, and the acceptance of errors as signs of learning. So in this method, yeah, this is also okay, yeah, to make mistake, such as in the previous approach. Okay. And CBI, context-based instruction, it's an approach to second language teaching in which teaching is organized around the content or information that students will acquire. Okay, organized around the content or informations, not linguistic or other type of another type of films. But then, although content is used with a variety of different meanings in language teaching, it refers to the substance or subject matter that we learn or communicate through language rather than language used to convey. The principles are, number one, people learn a second language more successful when they use the language as a means of acquiring information rather than as an end itself. Okay, so language is used as a means of acquiring information, and it reflects students' needs for learning a second language. It shows students' need, yeah, for learning a second language. Okay, and the last current communicative approach is that TBLT, task-based language teaching, yeah, which refers to an approach based on the use of tasks as a core unit of planning and instruction. What makes it different with other approaches is that the use of tasks as the core unit of planning and instruction. So the task plays a vital role in TBLT. The principles of TBLT, like it involves real communication or are essential for language learning. So the tasks created in this approach is that communicative tasks usually, which involve free communications. And then the language is used for carrying out meaningful tasks which promote learning. English is used to promote learning in doing the task. A language that is meaningful to the learner supports the learning process. Okay. Remember that your approach to language teaching is obviously the keystone to all your teaching methodology in the classroom. Yeah. Approach to language teaching is obviously the keystone to all your teaching methodology class. So we have much to learn collectively in these professions. Okay. So well, I think that's all for today in meeting 2. Yeah, that is about current communication approaches. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.